everyone, welcome to Your Local Flavors. This week we're going to visit two of the Valley's favorite locally owned and operated restaurants, and you're in for a treat. Because our first stop is the Toddle Inn, and they've been giving their food justice for years. For our cooking segment, we're going to feature a local chef who will show us all how to make a delicious and healthy meal right in the comfort of our own home. And we'll wrap it all up with La Escondida, always changing up their menus to cater to their customers. So grab your fork, hold on to your napkin, and get your taste buds ready, because Your Local Flavors is next. Good morning and welcome back to Your Local Flavors. We're here at the oldest breakfast restaurant in Brownsville, Texas. This is the place where family and friends come by to jumpstart their day with a bit of conversation, a little bit of chisme, and always their famous, authentic, homemade breakfast. This is the Toddle Inn Restaurant. Welcome to the breakfast segment of Your Local Flavors. For the last 33 years, the Pettis family has owned and personally ran the Toddle Inn Restaurant. At first, Sheriff Alex Pettis and his wife ran the place, but 13 years ago, they transferred it over to their son, Mark.
January 2005, I signed the lease with my parents.
In the beginning, for Mr. Pettis, the Toddle Inn was simply his favorite place to eat.
This restaurant was my favorite because it had 4 little tables.
Okay.
4 little tables and 10 stools.
But when the offer came to buy the place, he and his wife decided to go for it. And while Mr. Pettis was busy being Justice of the Peace, the Cameron County Sheriff for 11 years, and even State Jail Commissioner, you could still find him here on the weekends, even in the kitchen.
Sometimes my wife said, hey, you know what, the cook didn't show up.
Right.
So here I am, you know, I go looking for him or this and that. If not, I would get in and cook.
Right.
I would have to cook.
And being close to the kitchen may have sparked one of the greatest items on the Toddle Inn menu, their giant handmade tortillas.
But my wife was kind of leery at first.
Right.
She said, nobody wants to flour tortillas. I said, they do, but then we got to put them on the market.
That's right.
So we did. And
you got to create that niche, right?
That's
Everybody
right.
has that niche.
Oh, that was a genius move by my dad, creating
yeah.
the big tortilla.
Right.
Nobody else in Brownsville. That was great.
And good thing they did, because it's the reason there are so many regulars here. How long have you guys been coming to the Toddle Inn?
For 15 years.
15 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Long time ago.
So you guys are regulars here?
I love it. It's the best place in Brownsville.
To eat breakfast? Because we're doing this as a breakfast?
Breakfast, lunch. Huevo con chorizo,
Okay.
frijoles, and a big flour tortilla.
Oye, pero la tortilla is disco de oro or just a regular tortilla?
No. Disco de oro.
Disco de oro. It's got to be a disco de oro.
Yes. I love it.
You love it. What do you like to eat? What's your favorite dish?
A mí me encantan los huevos rancheros. La salsa de aquí is always the best.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite places of all times. And we've been coming here for years, and we definitely make it at least 3 days a week. Well, one of my favorite dishes is this one right here, which is huevos divorciados, except instead of getting the red and the green, I get 2 greens. I love the sauce. It's just, and then we get the refritos, and
Right.
you know, a real healthy, wonderful meal.
The remodel did a great job. Very comfortable atmosphere.
Right.
Great to just have a good time and enjoy a good breakfast.
It's hard to choose. That's the problem. You come here, you know which one you want. But for lunch, my favorite is zarape plate.
Okay.
It's got little fajitas, cheese, onions, tomatoes.
Right. Salsas, right? You gotta have some salsa.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
It's the tastiest dish you're gonna find here.
And for breakfast?
Oh, chorizo, con huevo, papas, con everything. You know,
Everything's good.
Take turns.
There you go. I love it. Today's Toddle Inn has definitely grown from the 4-table, 10-stool eatery. When Mark took over, the first thing he did was honor his dad's service to the people of Texas.
He wasn't really for the idea of putting pictures up of himself all over the restaurant, but I decided to dedicate one wall. Sure. And bring in the bars and the keys and some old jail keys, and just give it that theme. Since my dad was a sheriff and in law enforcement, we came up with a slogan that said, "We give flavor justice."
The other thing that expanded, the menu. Mark decided to add more items to the new menu.
We make our own tamales here.
Right.
So I have people coming in for tamales during the day.
That's awesome.
We make our own biscuits.
Right.
We make, of course, our own flour tortillas.
Everything's from scratch.
Yes, we make our own gorditas, and I'm real proud of our own Tex-Mex machacado.
And that Tex-Mex machacado? Oh, it's a customer favorite. We took a peek in the kitchen to see why.
So this morning we're going to make our specialty of the Toddle Inn Restaurant, which is machacado and egg a la mexicana. The machacado and egg we actually make in-house. We do not buy our machacado, and I call it our own Tex-Mex version of machacado. So it's machacado and egg a la mexicana, which is egg, machacado, tomato, onions, and jalapeno pepper. And it's a big hit, and it's a seller hit.
So of course, I had to try it out for myself.
Ben?
All right.
Specialty of the house, machacado and egg a la mexicana. Enjoy it.
Very nice. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. All right, I got to dig in, guys. Oh, this is as authentic as it gets, guys. This is delicious. But some things won't change. You will always be greeted by family.
And they were always here.
Right.
You know, when my dad and mom owned it, they were always here. They'd greet you. My mom was at the cash register.
Right.
You know, or my dad on the weekends. And same today.
And you will always be treated like family.
And I believe in good food and good service.
Right.
And good quality food.
With such great history and such authentic flavor, these guys have actually done their food some justice here at the Toddle Inn Restaurant in Brownsville, Texas.
This is our local flavor.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the cooking segment of Your Local Flavors. I am here with Gabriel Fuentes from Nuri. Gabriel, before we move forward, I really want for you to bring on, and we're going to do something different this time around, I really want you to bring on your partner, the person that's been with you since the beginning of this, starting with the food truck, then the restaurant. Who's it that you're going to bring onto the set?
Well, I got to bring on the boss lady, my wife, Hortensia Fuentes.
Come on, Hortensia. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you. Okay, well, now that we've got everybody on board, tell us what we're going to be making here.
So the whole point of this cooking segment is to do something that is quick, affordable, and that your family's going to enjoy. So we have 3 types of meat here that we're going to let you know of. So you have a nice ribeye that's been well marbled, again on the higher price point. And you see the bits of fat in there. That's great for on the grill or on the skillet. Sure. Nice medium, rare to medium. You don't want to overcook that steak because why spend all that money on that?
Right.
You have a New York strip, lean, a little bit of fat on it. Still going to give you great flavor. Okay. But you know, not as much as a well marbled ribeye.
So this one has fat. This one has a little less fat.
Yes.
Right.
And then you would just want beef. Right. So if you're going to do a barbecue like a fajita or on a budget, you want to do a nice, steak. Right. You do a top sirloin. You can cut this in a way where you can make it look very presentable, and that's what we're going to do here with you. But this is more of just you want beef.
Right. And this is less fat than we're kind of moving our way down. So this is a healthier option. Yeah. There you go. Is. So healthier option, better budget.
Yeah. You want to make this a really, really healthy meal. This goes right out the window. Yeah, that always stays, butter. Yeah. But you go there, here, and that's it.
Okay, so we're ready to rock and roll. Are we ready to start prepping for this? Yep. All right, let's get going. What are we doing next?
Okay, so we've already salted the water and placed the potatoes in the water.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And now we're going to cut up the vegetables. Okay. I like a meaty mushroom, so you keep it either half or quartered. And that's as far as I go on a mushroom. So I think we're going to go ahead and use this beautiful ribeye.
Perfect.
Because
it's not just because I said it, he picked it, but that was the one I was going to pick.
So another little tip is, and people are always afraid of it, is you leave it out. I mean, leave your meat out for 30, 45 minutes. Let it get to room temperature, because if you put if you put your meat on the grill, on the pan, whatever, and it's cold, you're going to have a tough steak.
Okay, how are we going to prepare this thing?
So real simple. This beautiful salt that a buddy of mine uses at his restaurant. Okay. But I mean, if it's the best, it's the best, right?
Sure.
So
absolutely.
We use this house salt, and all you do is liberally season your steak. Okay. And don't be afraid to put salt on it. It's no big deal. It's not gonna
shrivel up or anything, right?
It's not. It's gonna get those juices flowing.
Right. Okay, perfect, Gabe. Now, this is your special seasoning that you like to put on it. So if they don't have this seasoning, what else? How else can they prepare this meat?
So any steak, as long as it's got great marbling, or whatever, as long as it's great beef.
Sure.
All you need is salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Okay. Cool.
Really, that's the key to any steak. So salt, and a nice ground black pepper.
Right, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Let's do this.
So we have a hot pan.
Okay.
We're going to get some good olive oil.
All right.
And then,
Ooh, I like that sound. Okay, so we're going to sear it here for
about 2 minutes. What you want to look for is for the steak to separate on its own. Some shallots in here.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Start adding some flavor.
Nice.
We can start putting some oil here.
Okay. For the veggies?
Mm-hmm. Again, olive oil is a great tool.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Ooh,
You gotta be careful. The Brussels sprouts have a lot of water.
Very nice.
So with the oil and water.
Right.
There's 2 ways to do the Brussels sprouts.
Mm-hmm.
You can boil them
Okay.
like the same way you do the potatoes.
Right.
Or you can just put them flat out like raw.
Sure.
And what I do is I put a little bit of water, kind of boil them out a little bit
Okay.
before I do anything else.
Now I saw when you shuffled it a little bit, that
Yeah,
steak
I saw
moved
that.
on its own.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what you want. These are getting a beautiful color.
I like that. Okay.
Get a little bit of pepper. A little bit of salt.
Okay, so when the steak's ready to go and it's separated itself, what are we doing after this?
So now we're going to stick it in the oven.
Okay.
.400 degrees,
Okay.
8 to 10 minutes. So now your Brussels sprouts should be tender.
Okay.
At this point, this is where you can go healthy or not.
Okay. This is where you start adding some
Yeah.
flavor?
That's
Right.
where you start adding butter,
Ooh, I like it.
and that's good. And then we add our mushrooms. The mushrooms cook a lot
Faster?
faster
Right.
than the Brussels sprouts will. Yep. Then you just let it go for a little bit. Okay, so here are the things I've added. I've added the Brussels sprouts, olive oil, butter, mushrooms that have been quartered, and then I added the remainder of our shallots.
And you added a little bit of salt and pepper to the...
salt and pepper.
Right.
So that way you can just really taste the vegetables.
Right.
And if you have the special seasoning, add that special seasoning. I mean, perfect. If you love the seasoning that you're using, use it.
Okay, so we're ready to rock, right? This
Yes,
thing
sir.
looks like it's ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So you be very careful.
All right.
Then they make pans that are for this type of cooking.
Right. So that you don't burn yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that looks really good.
So we're gonna pull this off, and you're gonna let it sit.
That's right. We talked about letting it sit for a little bit.
Letting it sit for a little bit. You have your pan with all your drippings.
Right.
Get a couple knobs of butter in there.
The good part.
Yeah. And then the potatoes that we made earlier. Are going to go in that same fat. Potatoes have been in that fat. Drop the temperature. If you have some herbs, throw some cilantro in there.
Okay.
Parsley, whatever you want.
Whatever you want, whatever flavor you want to
whatever
add.
flavor you want.
Okay. So we've got our food plated. Tell me what we got. What's our final product here?
So our final product is a wonderful family meal that you can make at home. 15-20 minutes of prep time, 15-20 minutes of cooking time. You have a beautifully marbled ribeye, pan seared, then finished off in the oven. Got your Brussels sprouts with your mushrooms, and then you have your baby potatoes and new potatoes.
Right.
But a different variety. You got the purple or the red.
Right.
Finished off in the beef fat
Okay.
with a little bit of butter. Nice little roll, butter roll that you can pick up at the store, and some spring onions, and
Great.
just for garnish, and something your whole family will enjoy.
Okay, so we've got a perfectly balanced meal here, guys. We've got protein, a carb, a vegetable, so pretty much balanced out. Perfect dinner for either for you and your spouse or for your entire family.
Yep. All you gotta do is eat it now.
All right, awesome. I'm gonna take a bite of that, but I want to thank you first, guys, for letting us come into your kitchen. Hortensia, thank you so much for having us. I know you hogged up the whole show, you talk so much, but we really, really enjoyed you helping us out. Thank you so much. I know this has kind of been a husband and wife team, so I'm so proud of you guys, and thank you so much for letting us in.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for watching this cooking segment, and stay tuned for more of Your Local Flavors. Welcome back to Your Local Flavors. This week we truly found a hidden place in Brownsville, Texas. It's even in the name, La Escondida Restaurant. Now let's go inside, meet the owners, and find out why everybody loves their food. Celia Galindo and Gourmet Central. Two pretty well-known names here in Brownsville, Texas.
I really had the pleasure of meeting her a few years ago at a catering event. And we tasted her food, and I had never had her food before, and I loved it. I mean, from the main course meal to the dessert, I mean, it was all just wonderful.
Celia cooks really good. I mean, I love this place. I love the food, and she's great.
Celia is known for her dishes, and not just how wonderful they taste.
The food is plated so beautifully.
Right.
It could compete with any restaurant in the country. When the presentation and the taste match, oh, that's even better.
Celia's customers also know how her cooking makes them feel when they visit La Escondida Restaurant.
The chicken enchiladas were phenomenal, and the presentation was great. I mean, it's a work of art, but it's better once you start eating it. And then, of course, the fideo reminds me of my grandmother. If you look around, it's very homey, so you feel like you're at home. And then the food comes out, it's just like grandma used to make. So
the restaurant itself is very homey, and comfortable, and you'll always see somebody here.
Which is exactly how Celia wanted it, a place to feel at home amongst friends. So we headed to her kitchen to learn about this famous Celia. I really want them to understand and capture, really all of the energy that you bring. I think when people sit down and talk to you, they really kind of get how much energy you bring into the room, how passionate you are about cooking and the food that you deliver to everybody. And that passion for cooking started at a young age in her own grandmother's kitchen.
I remember cooking with my grandmother, and it was like everything was around the table. She was Italian, so her Italian blood was just out there, so it was always about the family and the food.
So by 17, Celia had become a chef, having studied at Cordon Bleu in Mexico City during her high school years. But being a chef was not what her family originally wanted for her.
My grandfather didn't want me to cook. It was like, no, one of my granddaughter needs to have a degree. And he would always say, when you have a degree, then you can do whatever you want.
So she got a degree in biology and began her life. Then 10 years ago, she returned to her real passion, cooking. And it all started with feeding airline passengers. It was an instant hit.
And they called me like 2 weeks later and they said, did you make that sandwich? And it was just a sandwich. We had made the bread, the mayonnaise, everything was fresh. And they said we were very impressed with that sandwich. And my career started with airplanes.
From there, her catering business, Gourmet Central, was born. And she stayed busy for many years.
I do absolutely everything from a cake to Japanese food to any type of food of the world we can make. It's probably, there's not too much we cannot make. I remember making the Texas flag for governor, and when he saw it, he was taking out the camera, and I was telling my mom, look, the governor's taking the picture, and then he comes over and he says, can I take this soup to my wife? And I'm going, I don't think it'll travel too well, because you could see the blue, the red, and then the Texas flag right in the middle. So it was really, really pretty.
Finally, she decided it was time to open up a lunch spot and a place for special events. She also tells us how it was one of her customers that helped her find the name of the restaurant.
We're coming to La Escondida, where are you? But before that, it was, we're coming to Gourmet Central, where are you? They were always lost, and one lady was going, ¿Está usted escondida? ¿Está usted escondida? Where are you? And at that moment, I thought, my restaurant is going to be called La Escondida.
And that homey feel that customers mentioned, that is exactly what Celia wants.
I know when La Escondida opened, one of the things that I wanted to make a feel of is that when you walk in, it's your house. It's your home, not your house, your home. And I know a lot of my clients will come, and now I know who their grandchildren are and how their dog is doing. I just make them, they become my family as well.
And one family member that's been a part of it all, Celia's mom.
Mom.
Come on over.
And she has a nickname.
She has a nickname.
She has a nickname.
I want to hear about the nickname.
Here I'm known as Chicotitos. I was in such a hurry that I parked right in front of the door. I got down so fast that when I opened the door, one of the girls say, Ya llegó Chicotitos. Oh, so that's how you call me.
Right. And it's stuck.
So it's stuck. I said, I like it. So I went across the river and I bought a whip.
Which has disappeared.
And since we were in the kitchen, Celia decided to whip us up some of her favorite dishes. Okay, Celia, tell me what we're making next.
Okay, we're doing flautitas ahogadas.
Flautitas ahogadas. Flautas ahogadas, okay?
Yeah, and the whole idea, when I started with this, everybody thought, oh, nobody's going to eat them. Well, it's one of the really popular ones. This is the sauce, and it's tomatillo, and if you see it strong, you were telling me, why was it this color? And you know the answer.
It's poblano.
It's poblano.
Yeah, I know my poblano.
Yes, and that's where we're going to ahogar las flautas.
Yep, They were amazing. So Chiquis, I'm gonna get the first bite. I apologize.
It's
so,
her
guys,
favorite.
Flautas ahogadas.
They're really, really good.
I love flautas. I've never had them this way. This is incredible. Really good. Thank you so much. Next up, she prepared bacalao, a seafood dish with cod that she picked up from her grandmother.
It has capers, it has tomato, it has olives, and then it's just a process of putting everything together.
Bacalao. Wow. That's amazing. Then it was time for an old-fashioned pork chop. Oh my gosh, incredible. Okay, Celia, this smells delicious. What is it and what does it have? Because it smells awesome.
It's an old-fashioned pork chop.
Okay.
And we cover it up with breadcrumbs, but the Japanese that they use now, that's the panko, it doesn't have that much bread.
Right.
And then we make an apple sauce, which is fresh apples.
Right.
We just let them boil. I don't like using too much sugar, so what I use is maple syrup.
Okay.
So I'll boil the maple syrup, put the raw apples, and then put parsley inside.
Right.
And then let it boil, and there it is. A bel chiste, como dicen.
Wow. And in case you need some more ideas of what to try when you visit La Escondida, here's a few suggestions.
I like the chicken crepes. Oh, they're so delicious. And they're beautiful. And any of her soups. The soups are just delicious.
My favorite is the mole. Her mole. There's something about her mole that, I mean, I wish she could serve it all the time, but of course she can't. But, I mean, all her dishes are wonderful, but one of my favorite ones is her mole.
She usually goes with the season. I like to come in September because her chiles en nogada are just out of this world.
Celia, thank you so much for letting us come into your kitchen this time. Chiquis, thank you for joining us for the interview. Guys, if you're ever in Brownsville, Texas, looking for an authentic place to eat, you got to come find La Escondida, downtown Brownsville. This is Your Local Flavors.
All right.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Your Local Flavors, where we feature 2 of your locally owned and operated restaurants here in the Rio Grande Valley. Make sure you find the chef's recipe online at yourlocalflavors.com. We'd love to get your feedback and restaurant suggestions, so make sure you hit us up on all our media platforms and let us know what you think. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday morning at 10:30 for Your Local Flavors.